Hey guys, Buffing Game Bat. Today we're going to have a video for our Tactical Weapon Series, part 14 I believe we're at now. And today in this video we're actually going to be covering Tactical LMGs. So we've definitely covered a lot of LMGs before in this series. However, I wanted to really focus and dedicate probably a two-part episode here, specifically on Tactical LMGs within Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the Cold War integration into Warzone. Because we do have at least one good LMG that I do enjoy using in Warzone that came from Cold War. So let's go ahead, we'll back out. We have about 5 or 6 of these to cover today, and then I'll cover the rest in a part 2 of the video. So if we go ahead and we'll back out here, and first off, I'm going to go back to my main menu screen here where we see our operator with the being D-Day with the Arctic Ops with that Delta-esque OGA type operator skin with the M249 Para variant here, or the FN Mini-Me mix with a Para variant, I guess we'll call it, because it's a little bit more so a Para, but there is some aspects of it that I'd like to see updated for an actual SAW Para. But let's go ahead and look at it here. We have our M249 Para, so if we go ahead and look at this, what I'll do is strip this thing down to base. Now, these are not made specifically for Warzone, so obviously if you're going to be using these in Warzone, you should swap the attachments and probably just put on a suppressor of some sort, ideally a monolithic. However, I'm not going to be doing it for all the attachments here. So let's go ahead first off for the barrel option. For the Para variant of the SAW, we're going to want the 18-inch barrel, which comes to, it's actually realistic for real life. The M249 Paratrooper variant does have an 18-inch barrel on it. So this will give you the ADS speed and the movement speed, with the bullet velocity and the recoil control being the con. Now, the good thing about this weapon, or the cool thing, it's actually been in service since 1984. And you see what I mean when I say the FN Mini-Me. I really wish it kind of has this old Mini-Me box mag to hold the belt. I wish they had the cloth box that we see with some of the other machine guns like the M91 or the Fin LMG. Would really make it much more paratrooper-esque for me for the M249 SAW, as well as the correct telescope buttstock. But we'll go ahead and select the 18-inch barrel. For the laser, we're going to want the tactical laser for the aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and the aim walking steadiness. The cons here being the laser will be visible to the enemies when we're ADSing. Next up for the optic, we're going to go with the 4x flip sight. So typically, I like to run the integral hybrid or the Leopold hammer, and I really do like this on this weapon. However, since this did receive a lot of or pretty heavy nerfs in Season 5, trying it out with the short barrel again, I feel like the 4x flip will probably be the better option, just because you have a more precise close quarters option here with the holographic or the EOTech there. And then obviously you have the 4x flip if you're going to be mounted and engaging anything at longer ranges. So this will give you the ability to toggle in the zoom level from a 1.5 or a 1 to a 4x. And the cons being the aim down sight speed, which we're making up for with that tac laser. So we'll select that. We'll go ahead and skip out on the stock as well as the perk option, and we'll go ahead for the rear grip. I'm actually going to go ahead and put on the recoil control for the rubberized grip tape. Now this will help us with the recoil control, the cons being the aim and stability. But again, since this weapon did receive those nerfs in Season 5, mainly more recoil and mainly, again, more horizontal recoil, that should help us out a little bit, at least with some of the vertical recoil, just help keep us more on target. Ammunition, we're going to stay with a 100-round belt here. So you can see we also have the 200-round option and the 60-round option. I really, like I said, I wish they just had a cloth box option here to hold the ammunition instead of just this plastic, or I guess I should say polymer type box mag here for the belt. But I wish they had the cloth one. But again, we'll leave the base one of the 100 rounds of the 5.56x45 NATO. The underbarrel, we're going to go ahead and go with the Commando foregrip. Again, since the weapon did receive those nerfs in Season 5, horizontal recoil definitely has been upped. So this will help us out with the recoil stabilization and the aiming stability, which again will assist with that horizontal recoil control as well as a little bit of vertical. And the cons here being the movement speed. So we'll go ahead and select that. And that is our M249 SAW, the Paratrooper variant of the weapon. And you can see they're just a really nice, clean looking weapon. Again, it's been in service since 1984 is really when the FN Mini-Me was kind of adopted into the M249 by the US Army. And it's a really nice weapon. Again, if we were to make this an actual Para variant, we would ideally want the cloth box mag there, or I guess you would call it just the box for the belt, and the the skeleton stock would actually need to be a telescoped one. I'm not sure. Obviously, they can't make things as accurate because of copyright purposes and having to pay for the rights. But the skeleton stock, would have been really cool just to see the actual telescoped option that you see with the saw. But that's our M249 saw paratrooper. In service since 1984 and developed by FN Herstal. So let's go ahead and now, FN Herstal again being the Belgian company. In case you didn't know that, they develop other weapons as well, like the FN Scar, for example. So we'll go ahead and back out. That's our paratrooper M249 saw. Next up, we'll go ahead with the MG36. So if I go ahead and go into the MG36, we'll strip this thing down to base, and we'll start with the base Holger 26. So with this weapon, what we'll go ahead and do is for the muzzle, we're going to go ahead and want the compensator. This will help with the recoil control, the con being the aim down sight speed, and the aiming stability. Now, this weapon's been in service since 1997. However, the MG36 variant was discontinued shortly thereafter, along with the E, or the exported variant of the G36. Just because it really wasn't as reliable and there really wasn't a use for it, since the Germans with the H&K had their own dedicated machine guns, that being the MG4, MG5, at the time also the MG3. Barrel, we're going to leave the base barrel. However, in real life, the barrel for the MG36 was a heavier and more reinforced barrel to withstand heat and cook-offs. Unfortunately, we don't really have the option of any heavier of a barrel here. We just have the KA4 barrels as well as the G36C barrels. So we don't have a dedicated damage at range type barrel for this weapon, which is kind of a shame. So we'll leave that. Laser, we're going to go ahead and want the TAC laser. This, again, will give us the ADS speed, the aiming stability, and the aim walking steadiness. Laser will be visible to enemies when you're ADS, and I'm going to just go with the default PEC 15 just because I like that black and tan combo. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now for the optic on this one, I'm going to go with the Solo Zero K498 4x. This is the integral optic that you see on the G36s. And again, just for aesthetic purposes, to be more accurate to the real life variant, this will give us that 4x zoom level, and the cons being the aim down sight speed. Now, one thing to note is that this has a very clean reticle on it that we'll look at here in a minute. Now the stock option, will leave this one at base, and you can see this is a different stock than the base Holger variant. We have a different buttstock here with the adjustable cheek rest, and you can see it's also able to fold to the left there. We'll skip the perk as well as the we'll skip that. Yeah, we'll skip the perk, and then for the rear grip, actually, we're gonna want the recoil control option. Again, just the same purposes as we covered with the saw. This weapon does kick around a lot, so we'll go ahead and select the recoil control option to keep it more on point. And then for the ammunition, we'll skip that. The only other option here is a 30 round to turn this more so into a G36 assault rifle, but we're gonna want the 100 round beta CMAG here for the MG36. And then for the underbarrel attachment here, we'll go ahead and do the Commando foregrip. This will assist with the recoil stabilization and the aiming stability, the cons being the movement speed. So again, the same purposes as we did with the Bruin or the M249 saw. It's just because this thing does tend to kick around quite a lot, mainly horizontally. But there's our final design for the H&K G30, or MG36, I should say. And again, you see very accurate to the IRL build of this weapon, utilizing that beta 100 round CMAG there. Very unique, distinct weapon. Unfortunately, like I said, it's been in service. The G36 itself has been in service since 1997. However, the MG36 and the G36E, which is E for export, was discontinued by H&K because it really wasn't a need for that variant of the weapon. So that is our MG36 by H&K. Go ahead now and we'll back out and we'll go to our next machine gun here, that being the H&K 436 IAR, or Infantry Automatic Rifle. So the Kilo 141 in real life is the Heckler & Koch HK 433, and I'm taking liberties with this as I covered this in the conversion series way back when, is because the M27 IAR by H&K is essentially the HK 416 and the 417, just different variants of that. And the IAR, being the infantry automatic rifle, is supposed to fill that support role that the SAW does. It only makes sense that with the 433, which is basically a combination of the best things of the G36 and the 416, that the 433 would have an IAR variant. So if we go ahead here and we'll back out, we'll strip this to the base kilo 141. We'll leave the muzzle and we'll go ahead and go for the barrel here. And we'll go with the longest barrel option here. We're going to go for the Signature Arms 19.8-inch Prowler, which again is very accurate to the real-life variant of the weapon, coming in a variety of different barrels, the largest being the 19 and the 20-inch barrels. So this will give us the damage at range, bullet velocity, the recoil control, the cons being the aim down sight speed, and the movement speed. So we'll select that. Now again, the HK433 has not been put in service yet. However, it was designed in 2017, shown off at SHOT Show, and it was supposed to be started to be put into service in 2020 to replace the G36s for the German military. However, I'm not sure if that has actually happened yet. Details about this weapon are pretty locked down, and we haven't really seen any test flight or anything along the lines of that for this weapon yet. For the optic, we're going to go ahead and do the 4x flip. Again, to give us that 4x flipped option, as well as the standard EOTech or the holographic for those closer quarters engagements. To allow us to be a little bit more accurate there as well. Just have the option for medium to longer ranges, cons being the aim down sight speed. So we'll go ahead and select that. Now the stock option for this, because we want kind of that more so IAR type look, I'm going to go with the Signature Arms Sniper Pro. This will assist us with the aiming stability, the cons being the aim walking movement speed. But you can see it's the same buttstock, you just have the butt of the weapon at the very end there on the far right extended fully, or at least partially, and then we have the cheek rest also extended upward compared to, you'll see here, the base. The cheek rest is down and the buttstock is retracted. So we'll go ahead and select that. And one thing to note, this is a foldable buttstock, so obviously we can retract this back part, bring the cheek rest down, and then this will fold to the right hand side, same as the G36. I think I said with the MG36 it would fold to the left. It folds to the right, the same as we see here with this weapon here with the HK433 IAR. We'll skip the perk as well as the rear grip, and for the ammunition, the M249 IAR I believe only takes a 30 to a 40 round magazine. However, with this it would make sense to utilize either the 50 or the 60 round magazine of the 5.56x45 since it is filling an infantry automatic rifle role of the IAR. So we'll go ahead and select the 60 round magazine to double our magazine ammo capacity from 30 to 60 rounds of the 5.56x45, and the cons here being the aim down sight speed and the movement speed for this weapon. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then the final attachment here for the underbarrel is going to be the Ranger foregrip. So the Ranger foregrip will help us with the recoil control and the aiming stability. The cons here, aim walking movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So I really do like the Ranger with this weapon. I typically don't like to use anything that was or is meta. So Commando foregrip is a really good option for this, obviously. However, the Ranger foregrip, very accurate. Your ADS time will be a lot slower. However, your accuracy for vertical recoil control will definitely be better. So that'll help with the recoil control, mainly vertical, and the aiming stability. Cons being the aim walking movement speed and the aim down sight speed. So by combining this with the other aiming stability attachments, this is going to be a very, very accurate rifle for sure. And then obviously if you wanted to use this in Warzone, you'd probably just swap out the buttstock for a suppressor and utilize it that way. But that is our H&K 433 IAR infantry automatic rifle. Let me know what you guys think of this weapon. Let me know if you've used this. It's a really nice weapon. Again, not quite in service yet. Design period was 2017. It was shown off at SHOT Show 2018, I want to say, and it's supposed to replace the G36s or start to phase them out in 2020 for the German military. But we haven't seen much about this yet. I'm not sure if they've actually started phasing out the G36s for this weapon yet. So let me know what you guys think of this one. Really good one. Obviously, this is an assault rifle in game at base, but you can kind of convert it here to a LMG. Now, also, there's also the option for the 100-round drum mag here. You have the Beta C mag, same as the G36 or the MG36. This will up your magazine ammo capacity to 100. However, this just looks very goofy and would be very, very slow. So I don't think there's really a need for a 100-round Beta C mag on this. I think the 60-round magazine is more than enough to fill that IAR role, which is really good. So we'll select that. Next up, we're going to go with the H&K MG5. So the MG5, again, is one of those dedicated weapons that really was the reason, one of the reasons that the MG36 was kind of discontinued, is because the German military had the MG3, the MG4 later came, and then the MG5 here. Now, the MG5 has been in service since 2015. Again, this is H&K or Heckler & Koch. So we'll go ahead and select this here, and what we'll do is strip this thing down to the base MG5. I actually used no blueprint this time. Typically, I like to use blueprints, but I really wanted to have that MG5 look. It's something I've really kind of taken for granted here. We're going to go ahead for the laser. We're going to go ahead and select the tactical laser, again, for the same pros and cons we've discussed. The optic for this one, we are going to go with the Leopold hammer, or the integral hybrid. Allow us to swap from that 3.25 Scout to the top-mounted Delta point. Cons here are the ADS speed, but again, we're mitigating that with the tactical laser. So we'll select that. Stock option, we can leave the base one. And then for the rear grip, we're going to want the rubberized grip tape, again, for more recoil control. Cons being the aiming stability, since this is a 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO round, very heavy round. We're going to need all the recoil control we can get. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then for the ammunition here, we're going to go ahead and select the 120 round magazine here. Now, you see what I said with the SAW Para? We have the cloth wrap here. I really like the cloth wrap on the base 100 or the 120 round here for the MG5. It just really completes that LMG look, and obviously it's more feasible for machine guns just because you don't have this fixed box there. Obviously, here on this MG5, we have a box covered by the cloth, but in real life, those cloths really would just house a lot of the ammunition itself without having that plastic or polymer or steel, whatever material this one's supposed to be made out of, probably a steel or a metal, to house the ammo. So the pros here, we're increasing our ammo by 20 rounds. Cons being the aim down sight speed and the movement speed. So that's an optional attachment. If you're using some Warzone, you can swap that out for a barrel or a suppressor. Then for the underbarrel attachment for this one, probably going to want to go with the Ranger foregrip, or for max recoil control on this, because it's a 7.62 by 51, the Merc foregrip would be a very good option as well. However, your movement speed and everything is going to be a little slower. Ranger foregrip will help you out with the range as well as some of the recoil control. Definitely a very good option here for the MG5. This is basically the universal model utilizing the standard, I believe, 20-inch barrel on this weapon. So that's our MG5 by H&K. Again, really pretty weapon. And basically very similar to the MG4. Just the only difference here being the MG4 is 5.56 by 45 NATO. And the MG5 is 7.62 by 51 NATO. They also made some different changes here. The barrel can be replaced by utilizing the carrying handle. And you can turn that correctly. Pull it out to swap the barrel. Each barrel will have a new carrying handle on it. Do it that way. Easy swappable barrels. After it gets hot, you can swap that out pretty easily. So that's the H&K MG5. Next up, and the last one on the list for today, will be the Knights Armament Company light assault machine gun. So this again is by Knights Armament Company as a designer, and it's been in service or designed since 2017. It's used mainly by police and some other law enforcement and some other small. I don't know if it hasn't been adopted by any militaries, but mainly police and other law enforcement utilize this. Now, very interesting weapon here. Go ahead and strip it down. For the muzzle, we're going to go ahead with the tactical suppressor, again, just to kind of replicate the actual suppressor that's provided for these by Knights Armament Company. You can definitely go with a mono for the best results for Warzone. So that'll give us a sound suppression. Cons being the aim down sight speed and the aim walking steadiness. So we'll select that. Now for the barrel, we're going to leave the base barrel. You obviously have a variety of options here. However, community moderator here, Odin, really turned me on to the base barrel for this weapon. I think it's very useful to save that attachment because this weapon is so accurate. So we'll go ahead and leave that at the base. Laser, we're going to want the tac laser, the only one available with this one. We'll select that. Then for the optic, again, for this, we'll go with the 4x flip for the same purposes as the SAW. It just gives you that better option for the medium ranges, as well as, since this weapon is so accurate with that built-in recoil management system, you can engage at longer range targets as well. We'll leave the base stock, skip the perk, and then for the ammunition here, we're actually going to go with the 5.56 by 45 NATO 100 round would be probably the better option here, but because we can, we're going to go with the cased telescoped rounds of 100 rounds. So again, this is lighter weight ammunition, but the cons here will be the bullet velocity and the damage at range. But again, the pros here, aimed on sight speed, movement speed, and the belt capacity, we're increasing up to 100 here, obviously. So it just helps out overall ergonomics of the weapon. However, you are going to take penalty for the bullet velocity and the damage at range, which already a little bit low with this weapon. There's no headshot multiplier. So I would recommend the 5.56 by 4500 round, but because we can, we're going to use the case telescoped here. Then for the underbarrel attachment, we'll go ahead with the Commando foregrip. This will help with the recoil stabilization, mainly the horizontal recoil with the aiming stability as well, and the cons being the movement speed for this weapon. So this is our Knights Armament Company light assault machine gun. Now really what this thing is built for, the purpose of this, like I said, it has a recoil management system internally, so it's able to fire with virtually almost no recoil whatsoever. And really what this is meant to do is fill the role of an assault rifle, but also have a lot more ammo. So basically you use it as an AR, and then when you need to utilize more ammunition, you have the ability to, and you don't need to reload as you would with the standard M4, M16, etc. Whatever is being used within the squad. This is kind of just that hidden machine gun that's there. And then when it needs to fill that role of a squad automatic weapon, like a saw, it will. But again, really not meant to be fired in full auto, just small bursts, and just to have a lot more ammunition so you don't have to reload. Very light weapon here. Very fun to use in game as well as in real life. Just a great weapon overall. So again, that was designed in 2017 and used by police and law enforcement. Let me know what you guys think of this list here. Today we covered the Knights Armament Company LMG, the MG5 by H&K, the H&K 433 Infantry Automatic Rifle, the H&K MG36, and the FN Herstal M249 Saw Paratrooper variant. So a lot of H&K today. We had a total of 3 H&K. We had a Knights Armament Company and an FN Herstal. So a lot of H&K weapons in this game. Let me know what you guys think here about this tactical weapon build for the LMGs in the game. Again, really awesome to see these weapons, especially nice tactical builds. These are really good practical weapons for multiplayer for sure. Definitely in Warzone, you can probably get away with some of these as well. But there we go. We'll end it with D-Day with the Parasaw. Let me know down below what you guys think. For next time, till next time, this is Buffering Gaming with our Tactical Weapon Series for the Tactical LMGs Part 1. Till next time, Buffering Gaming, out.